guys, it's Stephanie from Oh You're Lovely, and today is another Meet the Flower. You guys, welcome back to another tutorial, and today is a Meet the Flower tutorial, and that flower will be Charleston. Now don't let this flower fool you. When you do get the Charlestons, they come a little squished. The little guys are a lot squishier than normal. They do. But don't you fear. Have no worries, have no fears. I'm gonna show you how stinking pretty this flower is. So let's jump into it. All right, you guys, so the Charleston. The Charleston does come a little tightly wrapped, if you will. A little squished. So getting a water bottle with just a little bit of water is gonna be your friend to really see the gorgeousness. Now I like the petals to uncurl. I don't want them to be so tightly curled inward. So I spray it down with some water and then gently coax it to open up. And once it opens up, you guys, do you hear that sigh? That's a sigh of absolute loveliness. This flower is great to make faux, not pansies, definitely not a pansy, peonies. Like one of those, I wanna say it's a Chinese peony or a Japanese peony where it's like super open. I'll show you in a second. As well as poppies, great for poppies. Otherwise just great for a really fluffy florally, what's the word I'm looking for? Not fluffy, frilly. A very frilly open flower. Love them. I love the little center palm as well. Let's open this one up too. I've become kind of set in my ways of how I like to dye these flowers, but I definitely like to make the centers like a yellow typically, or black if you want to make like a really big red, like a California poppy. Is that the ones I'm thinking of? But just a little bit of water, man oh man. So let me show you something real quick and then we'll start dyeing the flowers. So here is that example I have of like a very opened peony. Now this one in particular we actually used a couple of videos ago. It was during our customers tips and tricks video. I used an airbrush and the paint is actually a watercolor, like a liquid watercolor. Worked really, really well. And the center, it's just yellow, but oh, I love this one. So we're not gonna dip dye any of these flowers, but if you do, it's gonna look very similar to this as far as you can dip dye the whole thing and then just concentrate on the center, or dye your center first and then concentrate on the outer edges. It's really up to you. But for today we're gonna mix media it up. We're gonna be playing with watercolors as well as craft acrylic paint. We're gonna mix them together. I'm really excited. All right. Let's start playing. Okay, so what do we want to do first? I think we're gonna play with that lovely guy. We're gonna get this over here. And I think I'm gonna use two paintbrushes. You guys didn't see that on camera. Look what just happened. It's floating now in my water cup. Ew. David. Okay, so first I'm gonna paint my centers. And I'm just gonna show you a quick little tip or trick for getting the center to look more like a poppy, okay? So the yellow that I'm using is from Folk Art, and it is Daybreak. So I'm just getting my brush is kind of wet, and I'm just putting those on there. Now, this is lovely as is, and isn't that just pretty too with the cream? But if you get yourself a little bit of a like lime green kind of color. So this one is actually Hauser Light Green. I think I have a couple others that I really, really like, and I wasn't able to find right off the top, but it's usually this like a little bit of a brighter green, like an apple green. Granny Smith green. If you just go in the center, it's that simple. Isn't that crazy? I am going to spray it down because I was a little heavy-handed on that. So I want to diffuse that just a little bit. I'm just gonna smush it around with my, shut the front door. Can we just for a minute, So why don't we'll take it up a notch. I'm gonna get my watercolor pan. I'm gonna get that, wet that up. And I was like, do we go bright? Oh, we'll go a little bit lighter. Okay. So I'm gonna go on the outer petals and I'm gonna scrub that. Okay. Oh my gosh, so pretty. And I'm gonna just start bringing that over to the other as it's still pretty wet. These remind me of peonies too. This color especially. Some of my peonies look like this when they like fully bloom. And they have just a pop of pink like down in the centers. So I'm gonna kind of give an homage to them. Okay, these three I'm gonna hold on to. I'm gonna kind of tighten those up. Okay. And if they go all the way up, it doesn't bother me. But you can be a little bit more not so willy-nilly like I am if it does bother you. But oh my God. There's something about the Charlestons in particular too. They almost give this like translucent kind of vibe to the petals that just, there's something about them. They just make me so happy. There we go. I love you. So pretty, so pretty, so pretty. Okay. So let's do the same kind of center, but with watercolor this time. So I'm gonna go in with my yellow. That's probably already kind of looking a little orangey, but that's okay. I'm actually kind of loving the little paint splatters I'm getting as I'm doing this, because that gives me the look of like pollen going all around it. Also, there's some tips and tricks on how to paint centers. That's not so like just squish it in there like I do. On that same video I was talking about earlier, the tips and tricks one. So I was talking about that earlier, right? I hope so. Otherwise, that's gonna make no sense in this comment. Yes, I did. Okay. So this green is something to behold. Wow. Well, that was a little bit more greeny than I expected. Let's diffuse that, shall we? Oh boy. We got ourselves a green and gold flower. Okay, so change of plans. Our yellow went all over the place. I mean, I'm not mad about it. Just was not expecting that. That's all right. We're gonna go in here, and I'm gonna make the center of these most inner petals yellow. Okay. Then the rest, we're gonna grab craft acrylic paint. I'm thinking we're gonna go purple. I think we're gonna go purple. So I'm gonna get all of the petals wet because I'm going to focus on the tops. So instead, before we were focusing on the bottoms, this time we're gonna focus on the tops. And again, you guys, if you wanted to dip dye these and not do all the hand painting techniques, it's very easy to dip dye them. And it's an instant gratification. Oh, didn't I say purple? Okay, that's fine. We're just gonna see what happens when we did that. The purple being used is Lilac Meadow from Deco Art Americana. The pink is my favorite light pink of all time, which is Apple Barrel's Cameo Pink. Ooh, we've got some yellow on the brush. I ain't mad about it. This is actually really fun. Okay. All right, so I'm going in almost with spray paint because most of these petals are pretty dry already. No biggie. Like, it almost physically hurts how pretty this is to me. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. It's so pretty. So I'm just mixing that all up. Oh, it's like what pastel dreams are made of. Loving them, loving it. Wanted to show you two quick other examples. I believe these are already on a tutorial as well on YouTube, but here is one where the outside was dip dyed. The center, we also put in just a little bit of orange scrubbed in the center to get it some more shadowing. And of course that green in the center. And then here's one with just the black in the middle to kind of give you that California poppy vibe. Again, the one that was airbrushed, looking very much like an opened peony. And now the flowers we just worked on, they're still wet. I haven't let them fully dry. But here is the one, this was mostly watercolor. We used in the center though, we used craft acrylic paint. The outer petals are all watercolor, and then we scrubbed in the center and came out. And the other one, some of my yellow is, hold on, we're gonna shake that off. My yellow is still pulling through. Oh, and it even made it better. How is that possible? Such a pretty flower. I'm freaking out about this one. So the yellow is watercolor, as well as the green that has kind of faded away. So let's put some craft acrylic paint in there. We're just gonna put it right in the middle. Scrub that in there. Bingo bango. There we go. And the yellow moved around quite a bit, but you know what? I'm not mad about it. And then the outer petals, the yellow's still moving. The outer petals is a little bit of a mixture of pink and purple, not on purpose originally, but it worked. Those went on the outside, and then we just diffused them with the spray bottle. You guys, I hope you love that tutorial. I hope this also kind of encourages you just to play. It can be so relaxing to just sit down with a few flowers, a little bit of paint, a little bit of water, and just see what happens. So I encourage you to do that. I also encourage you to go get some Charlestons. They're, again, like, I know I say all of them are my favorites, but Charleston's up there. And at first when we got Charleston, I wasn't so sure until I opened them up. And oh my gosh. The fact that I don't do every single project with a Charleston says a lot, because I really would if I could. But there's 150 plus flowers over at ohyourelovely.com, so go check that out. There's the plug for the website, all that fun stuff. So I can't just use Charlestons all the time. I know. Life is just not fair sometimes. You guys, if you'd like to check out the flowers, before you go over to ohyourelovely.com, as I mentioned before, make sure to grab the code, grab a code while you are going out the door, grab a code, YouTube30 to get 30% off your first order. That includes craft supplies, greenery, and the sola wood flowers. So check that out. If you're loving these videos, can't get enough, want to know when the next one goes live, make sure to subscribe and ring that bell. And I'll see you right here for another Meet the Flower. I'm Stephanie from Oh You're Lovely, and you, my friends, are absolutely lovely.